June 11, 2004. 116th commencement at Weatherly Area School District. As superintendent of Weatherly, I have had the distinct pleasure of knowing and working with many of the seniors. Over the past several years, I've watched these individuals grow academically and socially into young men and young women. I've had the opportunity to get to know many of them personally. To me, they represent academic excellence, a willingness to serve their community, a strong spirit, a sense of humor, and the desire to pursue their dreams. To each and every one of you graduates, best of luck, continued good health, and lots of success in whatever you do. I'm so very, very proud of you. Thank you. Now I would like to introduce Mayor Joseph DeAndrea, also a class member of the class of 1954. Mayor? Thank you, Mayor, and welcome 1954. At this time, it is with great pleasure that I now present Erica Catherine Morin, salutatorian of the class of 2004. Before Reverend Hinkle begins his commencement address, I want to share some background information on him. Reverend Richard Hinkle was a graduate of the Weatherly Area High School class of 1954 and a 1958 graduate of Muhlenberg College, where he received a Bachelor of Arts degree in philosophy. Reverend Hinkle also graduated from the Lutheran Theological Seminary at Philadelphia with a Master of Divinity degree in 1961, and he continued to do graduate work at the seminary following his graduation. In 1968, he earned a Master of Science degree in Human Resource Administration from the University of Scranton. Ordained by the Lutheran Church in 1961, Reverend Hinkle served Lutheran parishes in Girardville, Mahanoy City, Allentown, Tamaqua, and Slatington, from which he retired in 1999. From 1978 to 1989, Reverend Hinkle held the position of Director of Development and ultimately became the Senior Vice President of the Lutheran Welfare Service of Northeastern Pennsylvania. Since his retirement, he has continued to actively serve as an interim pastor in vacant parishes as the need has arose in northeastern Pennsylvania. Reverend Hinkle is married to the former Gladys Dufresne, also a Weatherly Area High School graduate. The Hinkles are the parents of one daughter, Margaret, wife of Michael Geiger of Slatington. Reverend Hinkle.
Dr. Heath, Mr. Tripler, Mr. Minnick, and the members of the board and faculty, I want to thank you tonight for this opportunity to speak at the school from which I graduated 50 years ago. My classmates from the class of 1954 join me in wishing you, the graduates of 2004, the very best as you leave the school that has nurtured and cared for you over these past 12 years. I want to tell you that I received a great education at Weatherly Area High School. It served me well throughout my life as I went on to pursue all those things that Dr. Heath just told you about. And I think I can attest to the fact that you too have gotten a good education, because since I'm back in Weatherly, I've taken some evening computer courses and they have been excellent. Now, this night would not be long enough for me to tell you all the changes that have occurred since 1954. Consider these. In 1954, a new house cost $10,250. A new car cost $1,700. My first year cost at Muhlenberg College was $1,200, including room and board. Gasoline was 22 cents a gallon, and it cost 3 cents to send a letter through the mail. But guess how much the average income was? $3,960 a year. Quite different from today, don't you agree? You know, friends, all kinds of changes happened in 50 years. Let me tell you about this couple who was celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary, and after everyone had gone home, they went out on the back porch to reminisce a little bit. And the wife said to her husband, "Honey, why don't you put your arm around me like you did 50 years ago?" And he did. Then she said, "Why don't you hold my hand like you did 50 years ago?" And he did. So finally she suggested, "Why don't you nibble my ear like you did 50 years ago?" And he said, "You'll have to wait a minute while I go for my teeth." That's change, my friends. Now, what I have to say to you tonight is going to be brief, but I hope significant for your lives and for your futures. And I want to focus tonight on the kind of world in which we live, a world that is extremely complex, a world that has changed significantly, a world that sometimes lacks warmth and is often not doing everything it could or should to foster good human relationships. And a lot of that has to do with the automated society that is becoming increasingly impersonal and sometimes insensitive. Let me give you an example. A couple of weeks ago, with online banking, I chose to use the telephone. Here's how it went. "Welcome to our bank's direct banking service. If you have a touch-tone phone, please press 1 now." So I pressed 1. "If you want to make a direct deposit, press 1. If you need information on your account or an update on a loan or investment information, press 2. If you want to transfer funds, press 3. So I pressed 3. "Thank you for using our bank's telephone banking service. Please remember that after each entry, you must press the pound key to access information. For credit card access, press 1. To transfer funds, press 2. For account access, press 3. So I pressed 2, right? To transfer funds, please enter your ATM card number followed by the pound key. Now that took some doing, since it has 18 digits and I'm out of school 50 years. But I finally accomplished that task. And then it said, "Now please enter your PIN number followed by the pound key." And I finally located my PIN number and did that. Guess what happened? "We are sorry, but your transaction cannot be completed because of an error. Please try again." So I tried again, same story. In absolute frustration after my third try, unable to ever get to talk to another human being, I went to the bank, filled out a withdrawal and a deposit slip, and transferred my funds. and they still had live people for tellers. A nice, friendly gal who welcomed me, actually smiled at me, and said thank you when she transferred my funds. But you see, friends, our lives are becoming more accustomed to today's technology and less used to personal relationship. In my wildest imaginings, I figure one day I'll call home and my wife will have recorded a message that will say, "Hi, this is Gladys. To find out what's for dinner, press 1. To apologize for what you said last night, press 2. To say I love you, press 3. And if you want to speak to me personally, press 0, and stay on the line, and I'll be with you shortly." My point is, my friends, the personal, up-close communication, so important to fulfillment in life, has given way to a lot of impersonal, detached communication. And this change has happened in our world, and it's been subtle, but let me assure you, it has happened. People are less important today. Life is less personal, and great as our technological world is, it tends to make us less sensitive to one another. Tonight, as you graduate from Weatherly Area High School and go out into your new world, you have the responsibility to use your capacities and your education to make it a better place. You also have the responsibility to provide this world with a way of life that will deepen your care and your concern for other people. I'd like to very briefly tonight suggest 3 things that I think need to be kept alive in each of you so that you are able to make a difference in this world. And the first is gentleness, the loving care of a mother, the genuine concern of a committed doctor or a dedicated teacher. Underneath all this tough stuff of our time, my friends, there's a genuine desire inside each of us for gentleness. I watch people. I see the hard shell of our day, but behind that shell is longing for warm concern of someone who's interested in us for who we are and not for what they can get out of us. With gentleness goes patience. Because of the rapid changes that we're experiencing in 2004, when the computer can give you information you need in seconds, it's hard to recognize that human beings work and respond far more slowly. Relationships are not instant, my friends. They take time, they take effort, and most of all, they take patience. A person without patience is one only thinking of himself. Learn to be patient. Learn concern for the inclusion of others in your life. And if you expect patience, you must be patient in return. And finally, develop a spirit of generosity, a willingness to give not only things, but more importantly, to give of yourselves for others. You know, our materialistic society leads us to believe that we can find all the meaning we need for life in the things that we can accumulate. And after a while, you and I become as cold as the things we live with from day to day. We're tempted to think only of ourselves and our satisfaction as the beginning and the end of all daily living. I read with interest this week the comments of some students who are 2004 graduates from area high schools. And they had a variety of things to say, but I'm going to share with you just a few tonight. One said, "It's a bit scary, this giant step toward adulthood. I'm concerned about being safe, about raising a family, about raising children in this world and finding a safe place to work." A second thought, our unpredictable economy and lack of job security is a problem. Still another worried about being successful. She was concerned about having her comfortable school life, which she spent the last 13 years developing, now being eroded with the change that college would bring. Now, I don't know how representative those concerns are for all students or for any of you for that matter, but it doesn't really matter because the reality of a new life for each of you begins tonight. Someone has said, you don't move ahead by looking in the rearview mirror. The past, my friends, is meant to be a rudder to guide you, not an anchor to drag you down. Your education at Weatherly Area High School, your guidance and direction, your excellent training and growth instilled by your teachers, your wisdom and love and caring imparted by parents will serve as your rudder as you go out into today's world. Go with confidence, go with purpose, go with direction. And take with you a spirit of gentleness, patience, and a willingness to share who you are with all who will enter your life that is out there waiting for you. While there may be some things that are unsettling in our time, it's a wonderful world filled with endless opportunities for you to succeed and to share your gifts. And as you begin this new chapter in your life, I'm sure all of us gathered here tonight to celebrate your journey into the future, join me in wishing you every success.
Warren M. Hinkle. Ashley Lynn Kessel. Zachary Charles Chunky. Amy Lynn Gerhardt. Brittany Morgan Jones. Conrad Thomas Piper.
Zach has received the John K. Schaefer Memorial Award, $100 cash from the Weatherly Police Department as a student who has shown respect for the law and law enforcement officials and whose plans are to enter the police profession. He also has been offered the Second Mile Award, a $100 bond given to the senior student for outstanding service to his school and community. Zach will attend Lackawanna College in the fall. $92,000 in scholarships and gifts, including those that you have heard here tonight. Congratulations, graduates. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Gary McCooch, who is the chairman of the Weatherly Area High School Alumni Association Committee, and who will make a presentation at this time. Dr. McCooch.
Thank you, Mr. Kelshaw. Before I make my brief remarks and we get on with awarding the scholarship to the graduating class recipient this year, I want to acknowledge the class of 1954 tonight because Mayor DeAndrea gave me a check when I was standing outside for a little over $1,500 to the Alumni Association. We really appreciate it, and I can promise you it'll go to good things for future graduates from Weatherly High School. So thank you very much. In 1990, a group of concerned citizens and graduates of Weatherly High School, led by Betty Henry, Lois Hallman, and Jack Kaler, took the initiative to salvage, restore, and preserve one of the most enduring and recognizable symbols of our school district and our community. the portrait of Mrs. Schwab, which dominated the main hallway of the Schwab School for 88 years. As a result of their leadership and the generosity of the many graduates of Weatherly High School and Weatherly Area High School, the portrait now hangs in the entrance foyer of our high school across the street. In raising the funds necessary to restore the portrait of Mrs. Schwab, the group realized that they had tapped into a wellspring of school spirit in the graduates. Consequently, in 1991, at the urging of former high school principal Reed Reuben Ron, Tim Frabel founded the Weatherly Area High School Alumni Association. The first four members were Lois and Dave Hallman and Yvonne and Jean Felker. In the 13 years since its founding, over 650 graduates have joined the association. As a result of their generosity and support, the association has donated nearly $100,000 to our school and its students. As I told those who were in attendance at last year's graduation, I know of no other public school district in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania where the graduates care as much about their school and its students as we do here in Weatherly. If you would like to be a part of this organization, please see me after graduation. It's now my pleasure to introduce the class of 2000 recipient of the Alumni Association's annual $10,000 scholarship, who will present the award to this year's recipient. She graduated from Penn State University last month with a Bachelor of Science degree in advertising, and she has accepted employment with a consulting firm in Philadelphia. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Erin Leschko.
Thank you, Mr. McCooch. It's an honor and a privilege to be here this evening. I would like to take the opportunity to thank the Weatherly Area High School Alumni Association for starting the Scholarship Foundation. This demonstrates your support and belief in the Weatherly Area High School graduates. At this time, I would like to thank the Weatherly Area High School Alumni Association for assisting me in my educational quest. I greatly appreciate the assistance and encouragement. I strongly encourage all Weatherly High School graduates to become a member of the Alumni Association. Your membership will ensure the program's continued success. It is now my great honor to present this year's 2004 Weatherly Area High School Alumni Association $10,000 scholarship recipient, Carrie Roman. Carrie is the daughter of Arthur and Andrea Romick. Carrie exemplifies all the qualities the alumni desires in a recipient. Carrie is a remarkable young lady. Carrie is constantly busy with clubs, including the National Honor Society, Spanish National Honor Society, Who's Who Among American High School Students, Hazelton Area Junior Leadership, Student Government Association, Future Business Leaders of America, Spark, the Yearbook Staff, and the Audiovisual Club. Carrie is an outstanding member of the Lady Wreckers basketball, softball, and volleyball teams. Carrie makes time to volunteer with various organizations, such as the American Red Cross, Meals on Wheels, and Urana Park Cleanup. Congratulations to Carrie in the class of 2004.
Weatherly Area High School Alumni Association. Before we sing the alma mater, which is in your program, and depart to my right for the receiving line outside, I want to thank a few people for all their help in making graduation a success. I'd like to thank Mr. Tripler, Mr. Kelshaw, Mrs. Hinkle, Mr. Trovich and his men, Mr. Son, Mrs. Sidler, Mr. Sorrells, Mrs. Haight, and the band members for all their extra help and to making tonight a very, very nice activity. Also, I'd like to thank the Board of Education, many of whom are here tonight, for their continued support of the district in so many ways. I'd also like to thank the teaching and support staffs of the district and all the donors of the scholarships and awards, and special thanks to you parents and families who helped raise such wonderful young people. Now please rise and join me in the singing of the alma mater. Please remain standing.